Hello, I am Bethany Warnches, real estate agent with Addison Jones, and you are watching Tuesday Talks with Bethany, where I cover real estate FAQs. Today, I am going to talk about increasing the value and the sellability of your home. So, if you are looking to sell soon or in the next few years, this is a way to help you know how to get ready to do that. So first, I want to talk about the difference between value and sellability. So value is when your home is worth more. So say it's worth $150 instead of $140. Then sellability is more so when there's a buyer out there and your home is among 10 other homes in a similar price range. And why are they going to choose your home, particularly out of those 10 homes? What sellability is there? What's selling the home? Why would they want to choose yours? When I go to price a home as an agent, I mainly look at location, square footage, and condition. Those are my three biggest factors. There are other factors, but those are the three biggest factors. And that, again, comes from my pricing strategy advisor certification that I do have. So first of all, let's talk location. You can't necessarily change your location unless you plan on picking up your house and moving it, which actually can be done, but the realistic chances of that are pretty much close to zero. Then square footage. If you would put an addition on your home, that would add value because square footage adds value. You also could finish some space off in the lower level, the basement of your home, but a really important thing for you to know is that below grade square footage does not actually add much value. Above grade square footage is worth so much more than below grade square footage. So if you would decide you wanted to finish something off in your basement, what would be a smart move to add value? I would say adding in an egress window is a must. So you can add a bedroom down there with an egress window and a full bath. That will get you some value. Now, is it going to come back to you dollar for dollar? That's questionable, but it definitely will add value. Now, if you would like to add a rec room in your basement, basically, just carpet, drywall, ceiling, so you can have your couch down there and a TV, that is going to add very minimal value. Just to give you an example of appraisals I've looked at over time and how different appraisers have done it. With a rec room, maybe they're giving you $1,000 because you've got a rec room down there. Maybe they're looking at it as $10 to $15 a square foot. Maybe they're looking at as a third of the value of your upstairs square footage, but it just really doesn't add that much, so it's important to know that. But I would say it does add sellability. There's a lot of buyers out there who want to have that other living space, so on Friday night the kids can be downstairs playing their video games with their friends and mom and dad can be upstairs watching a movie. It's just something that a lot of buyers do look for. It's great for sellability, but it isn't necessarily going to be adding value for you, so just want you to take that into consideration. Next up is condition. So location, square footage, condition. And when I talk about condition here, I want to talk about maintenance items versus value adding. So I want to talk about when a buyer goes to buy a house, they come with their money for a down payment, their money for closing costs, and maybe they've set aside a certain amount for a remodeling budget, thinking like, oh yeah, I'm probably maybe gonna have to replace some carpet to be my taste and maybe swap out some countertops. But a buyer isn't necessarily going into their home purchase thinking, all right, I'm going to move in and I'm going to have to put on a brand new roof. Woohoo! I'm going to move in and I'm going to have to do $20K in foundation repairs. I'm going to have to move in and I'm going to have to put in a new furnace right away. That's not necessarily what a buyer is budgeting for unless they have it in their head that they're 100% buying a fixer-upper. So it is important as a seller to cover those major systems. So I'm talking your HVAC, your plumbing, your electrical, your roof, your foundation, your windows, your siding. So when you do put those on and they're brand new, yes, it does add some value, but I want you to think about it like this. So you need a new roof, you put a new roof on, and it costs you $15,000 to put that new roof on. Your house is not automatically worth $15,000 more because you put that new roof on. Yes, it's going to add some value, but it's not going to add $15,000 in value because it's a maintenance item and it's expected for it to be at least in okay condition. But what it does do for sure is add sellability. So think about it. There's two houses similarly priced. One has a brand new roof and one has a 25-year-old roof. The buyer is more likely to pick the home with the brand new roof because they now don't have to start budgeting for a new roof right away in the next 3 to 5 years. So that's just something to take into consideration. Now, if you are a home flipper, that's totally different. You know, if you are literally redoing all of those systems at once, your HVAC, your plumbing, your electrical, your roof, your foundation, your windows, your siding, you're doing all of it, you are definitely going to be adding a lot of value then. But I'm just talking about as a home seller, you know, maybe you have a 30-year-old furnace. Maybe you have a roof that is curling, peeling, shingles are falling off. Or maybe you need some foundation work. I'm talking more of like an isolated item that you should probably take care of and that it's not necessarily going to add value, but it's going to help you with your sellability. So what can you do then to add value? Well, I would say a big thing is updating your kitchens and your bathrooms when it comes to condition. Those are the big ticket items. Now, if you go all high end and all out, you aren't necessarily, again, going to get back dollar for dollar what you put in, but it for sure is adding value when you update them. It is also adding sellability for sure. Another thing is if you're out in the country having, you know, a pole shed or a heated workshop, adds value. Having a 3-car garage adds value. So those are some things that you can do to add value in condition. So we talked about location, we really can't change. Square footage, there's certain things that we can do to add value, and condition, here's some other things you can do as well to add value. Then I want to talk about sellability. So what are some things you can just do around your home that aren't necessarily going to add value? But again, when buyers are looking at this pool of houses in a similar price range, why are they going to pick yours? What's going to sell them? So having a nicely fenced yard is a big one. There's so many people that are like, oh, I need a fenced yard for my kids or my dogs or for privacy. It's a big one for a lot of people. Having a nicely landscaped yard, giving a great first impression. Insulating and heating your garage that you do have definitely adds sellability. Having a 2-car garage and a 3-bedroom home are some of the biggest things that help with your sellability because there's probably the biggest pool of buyers out there that look for the 3 bedrooms, look for the 2-car garage. So it's great if you do have those. Your home is more sellable. A 3-bedroom home is more sellable than a 2-bedroom home often, or a 2-car garage is more often wanted than a 1-car garage. And I mean, in this market, that's not necessarily as much the case. But, you know, 2 years from now, if you're watching this video, you know, and I don't know where the market's exactly going to be then, but these are just things that to take into consideration. And then also central air would be a good one to add in. And then last of all, I want to talk about how we came through this pandemic and what we're looking for in a home has been affected by that. And so things to help sell it now that maybe wouldn't have as much before, that people may be looking for, are having that home office, having a workout room at home, having another playroom for their kids to play in, sit and do their schoolwork in. That can all be great sellability points for you. So I hope that this was helpful if you're looking to sell soon or if you're looking to sell in the next few years. These are things that you can look into doing to help increase your value and your sellability. So feel free to join me next week where I am going to talk about surviving the showing madness, where you put your house on the market and you get 10 showings in a day and how to get through that, how to prepare for that. So I look forward to talking with you next week. Have a great rest of your day.